Well, good morning, everybody, and it is Friday. It's not a yay for Jack and Lily because as of today, they have been missing for 3 weeks. What a horrible thing. Horrible. Now, after yesterday's show, y'all had a lot to say and you voted and you wanted to do another show today about Jack and Lily. And here we are. Let's see. Rapper's here. Beep, beep, beep. Awesome. Awesome. Look at that. Hey, Elsa, what's up? Stacy says, I always love the music, Brooks. Try to do a little Friday vibe. Hey, Jenny, what's up, wise old lady? And we have some new names in here. Like right here, Punk Banjo. That is awesome. A lot of people in the bushes, and that's okay. We get to know everyone, and they get to know us. Correct? Because nobody around here means any harm. We are simply having a conversation. So let's start the conversation on a rough note. Our very good friend, Diana Howry, is in the hospital. She is not doing good. Her daughter is taking her phone today, and I want her, when she goes back through and watches the shows or whatever, I want her to see that we miss her, we're praying for her, and we love her. So everybody, huge shout out to our friend Diana. So welcome, everybody. And just know that we are a tight community. And as Nufflin, okay, OJ, you are not part of the community. You better quit that right now. Don't bite me. Part of our community is my cat, OJ, and that is okay. Get your ass over there. Get one of your snacks. Go on. Play with your taco. Part of the show, obviously, is my cat, Interruptus. So everyone can get used to that. He's our mascot. By the way, if you're not a member, consider being one because I got a lot of videos coming out soon. And I believe on Monday, we are going to be doing a members live with a local in Nova Scotia that doesn't want to be public. And Scouts Honor, no one's going to share her information. So if you would like to be a member, please become one. And look at that. Pat K is not only our original member, she is gifting memberships. Woo! Woo! Grab your umbrellas. All right. We didn't really have too much bad feedback yesterday. We really didn't. I think there was like 3 comments, kind of the usual things. Someone named like Heather Jennings or something saying, you don't know what you're talking about. Do I have a badge? Am I from Nova Scotia? Am I? Should I exactly know everything that's going on? That is insane. All I can do is put up articles and go through what law enforcement has been saying. But you are welcome to give me feedback. I've got no problem with it. None. We went through a lot of red flags yesterday. Was there a party? Well, that was confirmed on Josh from the lab. A neighbor called in and she actually has pictures of all the cars from around the house. It was in an article. And one thing we're going to talk about today is why are some of these articles being taken down? What is going on? I'm not the screenshot queen, okay? I don't like it. I just don't. So what's going on here? There's a lot of speculation. What day did they actually go missing? Why did mom move? We spoke about the dogs yesterday. The impassable / impossible terrain. School was out on Wednesday, which in my opinion is a real weird day to call school out. It should be like a Monday or a Friday, to have a longer weekend. But the kids were out on Thursday and Friday. Hold on. Stillwater says, where is Britt? That is Walking Dead's problem. Okay? They are the WWE CLL tag team partners. See right there, Walking Dead knows. She's brand new here and she already knows. She already knows Britt's here. We spoke about Cody Sullivan's record. The mother-in-law kicking out Malaya. Everybody lives a lot closer to each other than I could understand in the beginning. Woo! There's a lot. Well, first, let's take a second and tell everyone good morning. Happy to see you. Glad you're here. Best friends forever. Family by choice. And sorry for the ones that don't want to hang out. It's really okay. It's really okay. Let's get to your comments from yesterday's show. And you know me, I'm going to pick out the ones that insult me because I find them hilarious. And, of course, your amazing thoughts. Remember, if I showcase your comment, send me an email, cll72020@gmail.com, and you go into the drawing once a month for an Amazon gift card. Sundown Farm says, listen to the replay, Brooks. Have a great weekend. I'm so glad you're covering this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Rock Princess said, hopefully they did not touch any illegal substance, as in F, and passed from F poisoning. In my heart of hearts, I hope they are safe somewhere. Don't we all? Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's truly important is that these babies are missing. Okay? The riffraff with the people around them is important. But what's important, more important, is that these babies are missing. You've got one that had a backpack on. It appears that she assumed she was going to school on Friday morning. It's reported that the other one had a diaper on. How long are you going to get through anywhere with just a diaper on and some rubber boots? Lisa Boone said, trained human cadaver dogs have the ability and specific training to be able to differentiate the odor of a human corpse from an animal corpse. This is very true. That's what we spoke yesterday about the difference in the dogs. There are search dogs that are looking for alive people. There are cadaver dogs that are looking for human remains. I mean, there's dogs that sniff for bombs. There's dogs that sniff for drugs. There's dogs that sniff for guns. They all have a different sniffer, She said, those of us who are avid hunters, trackers, know that there's a very distinct odor of a dead human body that differs when compared to the aroma of dead animal carcasses. She's exactly right. And this is important. Her comment's very important when people keep asking, what about the dogs? What about the dogs? What about the dogs? Our new friend, Punk Banjo, said, well put together, helpful information. You're good at this, Crime Lines and Lies. Thank you. Well, I might give myself a pat on the back then. Fuck yeah. All right. Tina King, which needs to come join us in chat. She's always catching the replay. Either way, we love Tina King. Said, so Lily was sick. And when she came into her parents' room, they were more worried about their sleep than if she was okay and needed something. She said, ugh, I don't like it. I've been confused about that myself. Who called school on Thursday and Friday to say they're not going to be in school? How does it work in that area for, say, the attendant secretary, teachers, resource officers, if a child doesn't show up? Do they call the house? I mean, how does this work? Or were they called in sick? That's something we don't know. Leah said, right. And why did she keep popping in? Were they fighting instead of sleeping, talking, kissing? There's something missing here. Or did the child keep coming and asking where they were going to get up, asking for a drink of water, complaining of hunger, etc.? The narrative makes no sense. Okay, there's someone that said, nice comments you got. Thank you. Let's see. Angry Titanic Lady said, I saw last night that RCMP did have cadaver dogs. I don't know about the cadaver dogs. I've just seen search dogs, so I cannot go into that. A lot of maple flags in here. A. Bailey said the camper is pretty much just out of the back door of the house where Justin lives, which is Daniel's brother. And that was in one of the very first newscasts. If you need me to play it, I will. I like these people. Let's see. This one said, at 15 minutes and 40 seconds, strange how two other family members were never mentioned in initial reports. A brother and the mother-in-law lives there. Now, I have to apologize for my ignorance yesterday. Let me explain. When I'm thinking everyone lives on the property, I'm thinking ways away from each other. I did not realize they were stacked in there like sardines. That is very upsetting for these two beautiful babies. And I understand where people are coming from saying, we can't blame, we can't accuse, we can't speculate. Well, I don't think we should accuse anybody. But there'd be something wrong with you if you don't see that there's something wrong here. I prefer to take up for the missing children as opposed to whoever victimized them. And whether they got into some water or wandered out into the woods, they have been victimized in some way. And this chat is full of mommies and daddies of one way or another. I mean, we know what it is to keep our kids home from school. Normally, after day one, we take them to the doctor. Do we not? Do we not? We're like, oh no, you're still sick. You have to go to the doctor. Cough, low-grade fever, whatever it is, we got to go to the doctor. So this is day 2 on Friday that they were too sick to go to school, but were outside. Remember, they were too sick to go to school, but they disappeared from outside. And one's in a diaper. These are their words, not mine. You guys can say whatever you want. Annie Ruler said party attendees need to be looked at. Sorry, kids have been sold in that area. Now, Annie Ruler, we don't know for sure that there was a party. I don't know why links are being taken down. We're going to talk about that. And a neighbor did call in to Josh from the lab to explain that there was a lot of cars there. There are pictures floating around of the party. Some people will say, oh, that's AI. Somebody photoshopped that. Well, they got a lot of time on their hands. That's all I can say. All right, there's someone saying you don't know what you're talking about. I like those. Shannon said neglect for sure. Oh, I like this one. Natasha McKay said, I'm from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. If you don't know the simple facts of the case, like 4 adults that were there and how close they lived, why are you trying to talk about the case? Very easy facts to find out before you go live to talk about a case. It seems you know nothing about. Okay, Paige said, I was super disappointed by all the aspects of this video. Sorry about that. I just said, calm down. That was the point. That was the point. I'm asking exactly how close do they live together? Together. Phew. A lot of people talking about animals, and usually I will say things like, yeah, animal doesn't make any sense because that can be tracked down. But what they are saying, the search and rescue crew, is impassable. Impossible to get to. I have never heard of that before. New one to me. But I learn something new every day. So if they truly got into the woods, of course, speculation only, then in this case, it might make sense if it's impassable and impossible to get to. Okay, now I have pinned the link. Feel free to come up. Feel free. Everyone here is nice. We might ask questions, but no one's going to be mean. But we are going to start with our word of the day. If you're new here, we do this every now and then because sometimes it's super important.
What's today's secret word?
Ooh, interesting question. Let's go and ask Cocky.
Word of the day. Censorship. What is going on? What is going on? Why are people being bullied into not talking about what they see as a red flag?
Censorship. It's a noun, and it means the suppression or prohibition of information, ideas, or works deemed politically or socially unacceptable. Used in a sentence, it sounds like, social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook have been criticized for censoring certain political views, often leading to accusations of bias against specific groups. Another example would be the writings of W.E.B. Du Bois were often subjected to censorship during the Cold War because his critiques of capitalism and imperialism were seen as dangerous. Another example, censorship doesn't just silence voices. It shapes what we think is possible. Censorship. You're welcome.
We don't censor anything around here. You guys are judge, jury, everything. You're smart people. You're smart. You're smart. You can see if something's wrong. And something is wrong because these children are missing. Okay? So let's rewind a little bit and go through what we know so far.
2 young children vanished without a trace in rural Nova Scotia. Here's everything we know about what's happened since their disappearance.
Now, again, we played this yesterday. We went through it. This is the whole timeline. How this is reported, law enforcement through media.
Around 10 a.m. on the morning of May 2nd, 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their home on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station. The children's stepfather, Daniel Martel, told CBC the siblings were out sick and not at school on Thursday and Friday. He said he believed the siblings.
Okay, now let's not judge anybody by the way they live, but let's just go ahead and look at the close proximity of the living establishments, I will say. So OJ, lay down. All right, I'm just getting him under control. I need to just turn my camera on so you can see what I deal with when I'm trying to do a show. Y'all would love it. These are paper thin walls, my friends. I don't even know how you would keep the heat on in these places. I really don't. And I know I'm going to get some comments saying, you can't judge them by the way they live. I'm not. I'm saying, how the hell do you keep warm in there? I've lived in a trailer before. They're almost impossible to keep cool in the summer and keep warm in the winter. And we have short winters. But on top of that, you can hear a mouse fart outside. The walls are very thin. So you have 2 children that are sick outside playing. Where's grandma? Where's mom? Where's stepdad? Remember, they're not outside. They're not outside on a summer day when there's no school. They were kept home from being sick. Think about it. When you guys go to get your children up for school and you're like, oh, no, you're too sick to go to school. Do you not call the school or whatever your routine is and say, Junior won't be at school today. He's running a little bit of a temperature and I want to keep an eye on him. Easy peasy. Do you go back to bed? It seems to me with the backpack and everything like that, Lily was getting herself ready for school. So what is the true story?
Siblings were out sick and not at school on Thursday and Friday. He said he believed the children must have gone outside through the sliding back door sometime Friday morning.
When we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
Nova Scotia RCMP said they...
Okay. Now, look at this again. Look at the rain. I'm not picking apart what he's saying. Look at the rain. And they are out there in that, according to Daniel and old girl.
Children were gone. Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
Nova Scotia RCMP said they believed the children wandered away from their home and there was no evidence of abduction. That morning, a vulnerable missing person advisory was issued in Pictou County, and the organized search for the kids began in the heavily wooded area surrounding the family home. Volunteers searched through the night. More than 100 people were called in to help. Helicopters, drones, and police dogs were also part of the search. On Saturday, May 3rd, officials were optimistic the children would be found.
It's a huge wooded area with lots of potential. So we're just keeping all avenues open and ensuring we're covering off the entire area with a very structured search.
Around 5:30 that night, RCMP issued a wider alert to Pictou County and surrounding areas. On Saturday, the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, spoke to CTV News. She said she was hopeful and that she just wanted the kids home. The search continued on Sunday, May 4th. The children's stepfather said he wanted authorities to monitor the New Brunswick border and nearby airports in case the children were abducted. Meanwhile, 160 searchers were out looking for the children despite rainy conditions. On Monday, May 5th, police and rescue agencies continued searching, going at all hours. RCMP said searchers had located what could have been a footprint on Saturday and expanded the search effort in that area. That night, 4 drones with thermal imaging technology were used to look for heat signatures in the woods. Tuesday, May 6th marked 5 days since the children went missing. A Nova Scotia RCMP spokesperson said in an update that the case remained a missing persons investigation.
So I think we can agree that the police did everything they could do. I don't understand what's going on when people say they didn't use dogs. I see a dog right there. I see a dog right there. It doesn't say search dog, drug dog. It doesn't say cadaver dog. It's really not for public consumption to know exactly how they're searching. Because, you know, sometimes if, capital I, capital F, if someone did something to them, it's better to not let them know what they know. It's better to let them honestly think it's shoddy police work so they're a little more comfortable. You know, it really is.
Police are pursuing all investigative avenues, and there's a variety of teams involved who are applying the tools and the skills and the expertise needed to locate and bring Lily and Jack home.
McCann wouldn't say if there had been any sign of the children. The children's stepfather told CBC that after the disappearance, the children's mother left the area to be with her family in another part of the province and blocked him on social media.
My mother had to kick some people off the property because they were saying that I did it. I had something to do with it.
Well, he's got a big old scratch under his left eye. Could that be from searching, or did someone have an argument? I don't know. Because some people are saying, no, she left on her own. I don't think she did. I don't think Malaya did, because this is what was said. Martel also addressed the children's mother's departure, stating she did not leave voluntarily, but was forced off the property by his mother. Whoa. Whoa. Just when you think you might have an in-law problem, check this out. Forced. These are his words. Okay? Forced off the property. And look at that big old scratch under his eye. Look at that. Now, why would you force, in all intents and purposes, your daughter-in-law off the property, knowing that 2 children went missing from that property? Not gonna lie, I would grab my baby too and be gone. And just wait for the police to tell me what was going on. I would not want to be in that environment, especially if she had some kind of spidey sense that Daniel could have done something, or somebody around there could have done something. And that's a deep ass scratch, my friends. That's a deep ass scratch. He said also addressed the children's mother's departure, stating she did not leave voluntarily, but was forced off the property by his mother. He said that following the children's disappearance, she relocated to stay with family in another part of the province and has since blocked him on social media. Well, boo-hoo. According to Martel, tensions flared between the families on the day of the disappearance, leading to a confrontation in the yard. I read that on Reddit, that on May 2nd, there was a huge blowout. On May 2nd, a big fight. And I would think that a lot of people would be pretty pissed off when 2 kids are missing. I would think so. He said, my mother had to ask some people to leave the property because they were accusing me of being involved. Hold on here, mama's boy. Hold on here, mama's boy. What on earth are you talking about? Your feelings are hurt? Your feelings are hurt because tensions are heated and People are upset because 2 kids are missing. Not just 2 kids, but your stepchildren, your mama's grandchildren, I guess, Malaya's children. Look at that. Now, I know some people say it's a scar, it might be, but it looks to me like it's fresh and it's bleeding. That's just what it looks to me. But again, he says, my mother had to ask some people to leave the property because they were accusing me of being involved. Hey, it might have been smart on the mom's side. I don't know. To de-escalate the situation. Could have been smart on her, on her side. I don't know. But for the sake of the children, shouldn't you try to keep things as calm around the house as you can to make sure, in case they come back out of the woods maybe, or if whatever was going on, that everyone is there? That's just me, though.
His mother left the area to be with her family in another part of the province and blocked him on social media.
My mother had to kick some people off the property because they were saying that I did it. I had something to do with it. And I'm the only one here fighting for them, which is sad.
The children's maternal grandmother told the Canadian press the family was hoping and praying for the children to come home. On Wednesday, May 7th, Nova Scotia RCMP announced it would scale back the search for the missing kids.
We're not packing up, and we're not giving up. Our investigation is broad, and it won't end until we know where Lily and Jack are and can bring them home.
McKinnon said there hadn't been any confirmed sightings of the children, and survivability was unlikely.
If we thought they were alive right now, we'd still be out there.
He said the searchers covered a 5.5 square kilometer area, roughly the size of Halifax's downtown, that was heavily wooded.
I'm absolutely exhausted at this point after going through 6 days of virtual hell. It's absolutely crazy.
See, the scratch or scar looks different now. It looks healed up right there. And again, it can be from searching. I don't see any other pictures with a fresh scratch. If someone else has one, let me know. Because if we go to this right here, let me show you. Okay, look at his eye right there. That's an open wound. Okay? Is everyone looking at that? That's an open wound. Again, not saying Daniel did anything. Now we go to this, and it looks totally different. It looks healed over. And he says right there, 6 days.
After going through 6 days of virtual hell, it's absolutely crazy.
On Thursday, May 8th, the RCMP packed up its command center in Lansdowne Station and searchers left the area. Martel told CBC he spoke with investigators from the Major Crime Unit in Stellarton earlier in the week. He said he willingly handed over his phone to police and investigators searched the home. Martel said he also asked for a polygraph test.
I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
RCMP declined to say whether a polygraph would be administered. Meanwhile, a makeshift memorial was set up at the nearby Stellarton RCMP detachment.
In a news release on Tuesday, May 13th, Nova Scotia RCMP said they were continuing to investigate. Police said they were following up on more than 180 tips from the public and had identified 35 people to interview, including community members and those closest to the children. Police also confirmed that an underwater team searched lakes in the area but didn't find anything.
On Thursday, May 15th, RCMP confirmed again that there's been no evidence to suggest the children were abducted. 2 weeks later, on Friday, May 16th, there are still no answers as to what happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan. Cassidy Chisholm, CBC News, Halifax.
Okay, hence why we get together. Vibe said he has that scar in older pics. So is it like a scar that he messes with or something? Because you can clearly see it opened up earlier and 6 days later it's closed back up. Woo, a lot going on. All right, so this is from a local news station and it's showing where they're asking for trail cams. Anyone local to the area and want to explain this area is more than welcome, because they are asking for trail cams. And yes, they've been turned over. Nobody's trying to stop the investigation. Nobody's trying to stop anything. We haven't heard anything saying that, oh, no one's helping. This woman definitely is. Neighbor hands RCMP days of footage leading up to disappearance of Nova Scotia children. Now, my understanding is from this article is the trail cam goes back like 5 days before the disappearance. And here she is, her own words, explaining.
Melissa Scott's trail cameras might contain clues about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. RCMP asked her for days of footage as the investigation into the missing children approaches the 3-week mark.
It's scary, especially not knowing what happens. We definitely keep our kids a little closer to home now.
The 4- and 6-year-olds were reported missing from this home on May 2nd.
Okay. I'm going to talk about a very simple statement that this woman, who is obviously fully cooperating, made. And we talk about this on the show quite a bit. And don't forget, the link is pinned. You are more than welcome to come up and give your 2 cents and let me know what you think. Everyone here is nice, open-minded, and well, that's just how we roll. We spoke about this in so many other cases where, you have a crime scene. Okay, let's just say it's a crime. They haven't said it's a crime. I'm just using a metaphor. But it affects so many other people. And so here is this woman saying, I'm keeping my kids real close because you don't know what's going on out there. You don't know. And that's a scary thought. Kids should be allowed to play outside, should they not? But as far as stranger danger and an abduction, the authorities in Nova Scotia have said there's no abduction. But it still is going to make you feel a little hairy,
Launching a massive search of the woods surrounding the home. No trace has been found, and RCMP haven't ruled out the case is suspicious. This is some of the footage Scott gave police. She says RCMP major crimes officers came to her home this week, asking for everything on her 7 cameras, starting April 27th, 5 days before the kids were reported missing. 2 of Scott's neighbors were also asked to provide footage to RCMP. She says the officers also asked about her family's vehicles to rule out local traffic in the footage.
Possibly they are wondering if they didn't go missing earlier, or maybe somebody who isn't local to the area was around.
She's a smart cookie. And she's on the news right there going, did they go missing earlier? And that's a question that a lot of people have. By the way, it's okay to have a question. It really is. There's a million questions right now. And also she's been asked by the authorities for her trail cam.
Possibly they are wondering if they didn't go missing earlier, or maybe somebody who isn't local to the area was around beforehand.
This road is the most direct path from Scott's property to the home the kids went missing from. We drove between the 2 places. It's about an 18-minute drive down rough dirt roads. Straight through the woods, it's about 5 kilometers.
I did mention to them that I was very happy to see them and glad that they were canvassing a little further and looking at trail cam footage. And they did respond saying that they probably should have been around earlier.
Well, and that's sad. And I know a lot of people are picking this statement apart, that when they came to her, can we get your trail cam? Of course, she instantly said, sure you go. There you go. And they said, well, we should have been around earlier. You know, that's just kind of a humble thing to say. Does anyone think, remember, think, that maybe they ventured that far out? Because remember, they had meetings on Monday and Tuesday to discuss their search efforts. Do you think something in their search efforts, or they received a tip, made them go further out? Kelly Durack, I had an email about this yesterday. Dryden Lake isn't that far from their house. Yeah, I had a long email about that yesterday. And maybe the woman's listening. I invited her to come up. And I'm assuming it's a she, based on the email address, that Dryden Lake has been kind of a problem for, people drowning. It seems to me it would be a far way for children to walk, especially one that's assumed to be just in a diaper. Kent Corbett said in the original search area, there was only one trail cam. It was mentioned on dispatch audio. I heard that. I think they found these additional trail cameras when they went back for the secondary search. Or they went out further. I don't know. It's super sad either way.
Looking at trail cam footage, and they did respond saying that they probably should have been around earlier.
RCMP would not answer CBC's questions, including why they are seeking trail camera footage from before the disappearance and why they are identifying local vehicles. Nicola Sagan, CBC News, Glengarry Station, Nova Scotia.
Woo! Horrible. Horrible. Now, our friend Josh from the lab, him and Chris McDonough have been talking. I'd say they've done a few shows. And someone did call in to Josh's show. Go check him out. It's the lab. And listen to what this neighbor had to say.
I think I missed a phone call, but here we go. Caller, can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Where are you calling from? Your name?
My name is, we're going to say it's Sue.
Fine.
And I'm from that area in Nova Scotia. I lived there for 15 years and I've snowmobiled. That's a big snowmobile territory out there. And the woods are very dense, and the drug situation in that particular area in Nova Scotia is just crazy.
So it's well known that it's a drug area.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Kent Corbett, you don't have to use your name. You don't have to use the camera. Come up. You're in safe hands. My son's name is Kent, too.
It's not a good thing. You know how many times kids are up running around and you don't want to get up with those kids and deal with them? I mean, it happens daily. I mean, it's normal for parents. Like, yeah, God, I don't want to get up, but you have to get up anyway. I mean, if they were letting kids play outside like this, yeah, I don't know if it feels all missing children cases when kids go missing and nobody knows anything and they think that, hey, they wandered off or somebody came over here and snatched the children. All cases sound similar when it comes to that, I think I missed a phone call, but here we go. Let's see. Caller, can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Where are you calling from? Your name?
My name is, we're going to say it's Sue.
Fine.
And I'm from that area in Nova Scotia. I lived there for 15 years and I've snowmobiled. That's big snowmobile territory out there. And the woods are very dense, and the drug situation in that particular area in Nova Scotia is just crazy.
So it's well known that it's a drug area.
Oh yeah. Stellarton, Pictou County. There's a huge problem with cocaine, fentanyl, meth, alcohol, you name it. Now, I want to mention about the day that they supposedly had this party. That was Check Day in Nova Scotia. And Check Day is Welfare Day in Nova Scotia. Everybody gets their checks at the end of the month.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So if you're on welfare and you have 3 children, you're getting a nice hunk of money, and that's party day.
And yeah, it's kind of like here, the first of the month. I mean,
Okay, can someone explain to me check day in Nova Scotia? Does everyone get a check, or just Cody and Malaya, the mother-in-law, and whoever else hangs around the property? Can anyone help me with check day? I thought check day meant you're going to check up on someone.
when the first comes around, if you're on government assistance, that's the day that the streets where I'm from become more active.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And so have you heard the rumblings of a party? I mean, I've heard some of it. Is there any truth to it? I mean, or is that just a rumor right now?
I think right now it's just a rumor, but I will tell you that I know the grandmother of these children.
Oh, okay.
And I've worked with her for years. She's a really good person. The mother in question is an amazing person. She's a good woman. She's a hard worker, I can't say either way, but this whole area is really sketchy. Just a really sketchy area. It's out back. It's on the back 40. Like, you have to come out to hunt.
Oh, okay. I see. And so you're not talking about the people that live. You're not talking about the grandmother that lives on the property. You're talking about the mother of the
mother.
I got you. Okay. So, but you don't know the people that live there.
I don't know the people that live there. I know the area. Like I said, it's a big snowmobile area, and there are trails back in those woods. Like, the woods are really dense, but there are trails. There's ATV trails. There's snowmobile trails.
Okay.
Question. Think outside the box. Where did the rumor come from that there was a big party there? Did people in the community just assume they decided to party it up because it was check day? And then they decided to not have the kids go to school on Thursday and Friday? Wouldn't that be the best time to send them to school so you can rest if you had a big party? So where did the rumor come from? Ding, ding, ding. Just Me said neighbors. Where did the rumor come from? What is your answer? What's your answer?
Fair day in Nova Scotia. Everybody gets their checks at the end of the month.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So if you're on welfare and you have 3 children, you're getting a nice hunk of money, and that's party day.
And it's kind of like here, the first of the month. I mean, when the first comes around, if you're on government assistance, that's the day that the streets where I'm from become more active.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And so, I mean, have you heard the rumblings of a party? I mean, I've heard some of it. Is there any truth to it? I mean, or is that just a rumor right now?
I think right now it's just a rumor, but I will tell you that I know the grandmother of these children.
Oh, okay.
And I've worked with her for years. She's a really good person. The mother in question is an amazing person.
Okay, so firsthand knowledge, according to her, is grandma, hard worker, great person. The mother of the children, amazing person. There we go. Ilyanka said someone on social media said a neighbor said there was a party, not the neighbor, him or herself. Exactly. And we've heard Wednesday and we've heard Thursday. That's what I said yesterday on the show. And the pictures floating around of said party could honestly have been from a different party. I don't care if there was 500 parties. I don't care if they had their titties whipped out and a bunch of beads on, pretending like it was Mardi Gras in Louisiana. I don't care. What I care about, these babies are missing. And it's not like no one's looking for them. Okay? It's not like no one's looking for them.
She's a good woman. She's a hard worker, and I can't say either way, but this whole area is really sketchy. Just a really sketchy area. It's out back. It's on the back 40. Like, you have to come out to hunt.
Oh, okay. I see. And so you're not talking about the people that live. You're not talking about the grandmother that lives on the property. You're talking about the mother of the
mother.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, but you don't know the people that live there.
I don't know the people that live there. I know the area. Like I said, it's a big snowmobile area. And there are trails back in those woods. Like, the woods are really dense, but there are trails. There's ATV trails. There's snowmobile trails.
Okay.
There, I don't know. I'm trying to stay neutral.
Okay. So there's snowmobile trails, but what we heard from the search and rescue team is where they're searching is impassable and almost impossible to search. The word almost is very important. If somebody wants to grab the link, let me know. Because if there's all these trails for snowmobiling, then there's trails, correct? Auntie Sherry said, okay, Brooks, let's discuss 69. Sherry, I'm not going down on you. Damn it, Sherry. This is sexual harassment. Holy shit. Y'all give a round of applause to Aunt Sherry. She wants to 69 me. What in the hell is going on around here? All right, Annie Sherry, I hear you have a lot of money. I'll give it the old college try. It's been a while.
But somebody for two children, I can see her, packing up her little backpack because they're not being paid attention to and saying, let's go on an adventure. And once you get 20 minutes or 30 minutes into those woods and you get turned around, you're not going to know which way. A 6-year-old is not going to know which way to go.
No, adults.
And like I said, the woods are
like that.
The woods are thick. Like, they're very thick, but they're snowmobiled, they're ATV'd, they're highly traveled.
So
by the locals.
So do you think that it's possible that the young girl Lily could have said to her brother, let's go on an adventure, and take her backpack and boots and
Yeah, and they could have been, because what I think the problem here is neglect. I think they were probably too strung out, too hungover to get up with their kids, and they just figured they'd let their kids run around, you know, and the kids will never leave the yard. Well, they did leave the yard.
They did leave the area one way or another. Best friends, brother and sister, whatever. The question is, how sick were they to not go to school on Thursday, not go to school on Friday, but they're outside, presumably kicking it up in the woods? So how sick are they? Let me tell you what, if mama's hungover, the first thing she's going to do is make sure they're on that damn school bus so she can go to bed. And how many days? I'm asking mamas. I'm not talking about Malaya. I'm asking the parents in here. Whether you are a mama to a parakeet, a kangaroo, or children, how many days are your children sick before you take them to the doctor? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can see clearly from the photos that from the search that there are holes in the fences. I mean, it seemed like it's pretty well, but that would be more for like toddlers, you know, like toddlers could wander around that fence area and probably.
Yeah, a 6-year-old can open the front door and walk out.
Oh yeah, 6-year-olds can almost drive cars. I mean, I'm kidding, but
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they're.
And
Yeah.
if they did get in the woods, you know, I think that they were left unsupervised for maybe longer than they said. And when they got up, they were long gone.
But the thing is, don't you think that there would have been some hint, some trail, some just any sign that they were actually in the woods at all? I mean, you have these professional searchers that are struggling to make it through the woods in every direction.
Well, you know, there's a lot of missing kids in this area. It could be a crime of opportunity.
Okay, I want to talk about this, especially from especially want to hear from people from the area. Okay, people from the area. There is article after article after article after article about a human trafficking situation in Nova Scotia. Do your own research. You can find it. Hence why I believe the police when they say this is not an abduction. I have a feeling with all these articles, they know what an abduction looks like.
You know, they could have maybe gone to the road. Somebody could have driven past them. But there's something to do with how long they were left unsupervised.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's personally what I think. I personally think I don't think that they went missing when they were reported. Now, this is just pure speculation on my part, and it's not to be taken as fact.
Yeah, mine too. I have no evidence, no proof that this is what happened.
Right.
You know, but like you said, some parents aren't really quick to get up with their kids, you know, and maybe they were in and out of sleep, but I think they were asleep for a lot longer.
Yeah, and somebody said earlier when I was talking about this, and I was reading about the open minds, you know, are there a lot of those out there?
There's old. Oh yeah, and there's old.
Okay, and this is important because Kent is from there. Kent said you might want an appointment for a doctor within a day or two unless you go to Emerge. Could be a month before you get an appointment. See, I don't know how that works. That's the reason I need y'all's help. Valgal, we actually have a playlist now for Jack and Lily. Gemini said they were gone on Wednesday, in her opinion. Well, we heard from the neighbor that handed over I say neighborly in the area that handed over the trail cam that said when the police came to see her, they were checking to see if maybe they went missing before. Those are her words.
Wells, there's lots of waterways in the area, lots of brooks, ponds, lakes.
Yeah, and so you go out. So you're a local to the area. I just read about a kid the other day. It was like about 7 or 8 days ago that went missing up around those parts, and she was found the next day in the woods after a tumultuous night. She was okay.
Absolutely. And to answer somebody's question in the chat, there are bears, there are bobcats, there's coyotes. It's hard to say at this point what's happened. We have excellent ground because we are such a heavily forested area. We have excellent ground search and rescue. Excellent. A lot of our culture is hunting, fishing, bushcraft, being in the woods, and yeah, it's really hard to say at this point. Like I said, I'm trying to stay neutral.
Have you spoken with the grandmother?
No, I haven't spoken with her. Like I said, I worked with her for years, and the grandmother is a really good person.
Yeah. And you have you met her daughter, the mother of these two, Lily and?
No, I've met her other children, but I haven't met the daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, so I misunderstood. In the beginning of this conversation, she said the daughter is an amazing person. But as far as the Malaya, the mother of Lily and Jack, she said, no, I have not met her. Auntie Sherry said, at Brooks, I'm rich. Woo. All right, Auntie Sherry. Well, then you're going to want to be on the members live on Monday because we're giving away prizes. And I have a feeling the prize we're giving away will be right up Auntie Sherry's alley.
Yeah. And now there's rumors saying that, the cops are back out there searching the property and stuff. And, who knows what's true. But I mean, is it common for properties to look like that in the backwoods there?
In the back 40, yeah, you're going to see some things that will just make your jaw drop.
Wow. Because it doesn't look like a safe place for kids.
It doesn't look like any kind of place I'd even let my dog in.
Well, I might let my dog, but not yours.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't let my dog live there. But yeah, you'll see properties like this. Nova Scotia is a very poor province. It's a lot of seasonal workers, fishing, farming. The mill in Stellarton and around Pictou County is probably the biggest employer in the area. And the nearest town is Stellarton, New Glasgow. They're not very big towns.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it does. It kind of reminds me of sort of our Appalachian trail, that we have here in the States, where it's not really a heavily traveled area by most people. It's just kind of off the beaten path and not it's a.
Well, hello, Hobie. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. You don't have to have your camera on, but whatever you are comfortable with. So tell me, what's the goods? I'm glad you grabbed the link.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I just found your channel and I subbed to both my channels. So.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's interesting. We talked about this on one of my lives a week or two ago. And at that time, I never heard any of the interviews by the girl or the mother or the father or the stepfather, I guess.
Did you see the show yesterday?
This show?
Yeah, my show yesterday.
I just found it, man.
Woo, what I'm talking about. All right. Well, there was a lot of.
What's that?
I said there was a lot of info. Check it when you have time.
Oh, I will. Yeah. But it was because it was almost 2 weeks ago now. I never heard the interviews. I wanted to see for myself and hear, hearing their voice, because you can tell a lot about a person, man, by body language and words matter, right? But the first time I heard the stepfather, I can't remember his name.
Daniel.
Thank you. He was using the past tense, and that just sent chills down my spine as soon as I heard him say that. It's the first time I heard him say it at the time.
I caught that too. And let me tell you what, people hand my ass to me anytime I bring up someone using past tense in these cases. They're like, oh, that's just how they talk. They didn't mean it that way. Well, I mean, speak about someone you love, who you know is alive. You will never say the word was.
Yeah. Yeah, he did it more than once too. It kind of caught me off. It's like, well, that's off. A few things about them that just, I mean, there's a lot of poor people. I'm from the Maritimes myself. I live in Ontario, but I'm from New Brunswick originally. It's not far from Nova Scotia. It's and the woods are very, very dense. Like they're like this, the woods. Like I don't understand how moose get through it. Like there's moose with antlers that can go through that like nothing. And a grown ass man can't even walk through that stuff because it's impossible.
So do you think it's fair for people to ask the question if the searchers say it's impossible to get through, how would a child get through it?
Well, it's easier for a kid because the kids are lower. They can go. It's if you know the woods down there. It's when I was a kid, I used to play in the woods down home. Right? I spent hours and hours out in the woods, man. And we came back. We came home. There was no cougars or bears. Like they're not unheard of, but there's not very many cougars. There might be lynx or whatever back home, but there is coyotes, but not much so in Nova Scotia, man. Even the moose are pretty rare down there now. They all been hunted out mostly. But they're there. But anyways, if they're in the woods, they would have been found, man. There was a lot of people searching, and these guys, the search and rescue people, they're professional. They know what they're doing, man. And they spend their spare time practicing and searching. My cousin's a search and rescue guy down in New Brunswick. He was probably there, but that's what they do as a hobby. They go out there and they practice and they train to go find people, lost people, and like hunters and whatnot. It happens. But,
I did read an article about that, but I mean, it was from 2017, talking about how they have to go out and find people that are just out there hunting.
Yeah, no, they're good at what they do, and they have drones and stuff now too, man. Which have thermal, which is a good game changer. So I think if they were in the woods, they had got lost in the woods, I think they would have found them, unless there's like an old mine shaft or fucking. Sorry, I won't swear. Old mine shaft or like an old well, like Jimmy got stuck down a well. That's a possibility, but I highly doubt it. It doesn't sound good to me. Like it's sad, but I believe they're no longer with us, man. And I think the cops know that too, right? And
well, I think the question is, how could they survive? Especially as reported, Jack was just in a diaper. How can they survive in an element like that?
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't. Even a grown ass man, you can get lost if you go down to the woods down there and you walk out in the woods for too far, you can get lost easily because they're so thick. If there's no sound of traffic that you can go by, right? I mean, they're not that far out in the boonies that the kids wouldn't be able to find a road or whatever. It's not that they got lost or an animal got them. I think that's out. It's I think they got taken or worse.
Or worse, yeah. Or worse. And there's nothing wrong with having an opinion and asking a question. There's really nothing wrong with it.
No, but I mean, you have a lot of speculation and I get it. I mean, if the parents are completely innocent, imagine what they're going through. Just hypothetically speaking, if they are innocent, imagine the vitriol that they're getting online and stuff too, right? Like
the best thing for them to do is not get online. Just they need to speak with the police and follow their lead. That's the best thing for them to do for the children.
Yeah.
I do not understand why some links to different news articles are suddenly disabled.
Yeah. Well,
And
you're dealing with the RCMP. The RCMP is the most inept, corrupt organization in Canada. Like they're in charge. So I don't have much faith in those guys.
so they can tell news organizations to take something down.
Yes, absolutely. The news works for the government in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
They're bought and paid for by the government, and everything that comes out of our news, CBC, CTV, Global, any of that stuff, ATV down there, Atlantic Television, it's all. They're just mouthpieces for the politicians in the RCMP. That's all. They'll say exactly what they're told to say. You won't hear anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of Portapique? The mass shooting that happened not that long ago with Gabriel Wortman, who had a RCMP outfit and an RCMP vehicle, and he drove around and shot a bunch of people, even an RCMP officer. Yeah, that's not far from there, right?
I did not know about this. Auntie Sherry, I will bring you up after I get done talking to Hobie. Okay.
Well, I can skedaddle if you want. I'm watching.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Well, I'll bring her up and we'll have 3 up here. Okay.
I don't see the comments, so that's weird.
Hey, Auntie Sherry, how are you?
Hey, I'm just listening to Hobie, and he's making a lot of sense to me.
He is. And I have said this. I said it yesterday. I've said it on many other shows. I don't talk about cases from other countries. I have to have some guidance. People say, why? Why? Because I'm not from there. I don't know. So it's amazing to have amazing friends like Linda from Canada, Pat, Hobie, that, say this is how it goes. I have never heard that things are taken down because police tell you to. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. Oh.
I tell you what, Governor Stitt in Oklahoma would love for that shit around here.
Our police, our police are not anywhere near like what you guys have down in the States, man. Your cops, a lot of them are elected, your sheriffs and whatnot. Your cops are held to more accountability than ours are. Ours can get away with murder, literally.
What do you think that sheriffs should be appointed, or do you think they should be elected by the people?
I would say elected.
That's just a question I have.
Okay, Auntie Sherry has a question. What do you think? Do you think? Okay, hang on. Pat K said, I don't agree.
The high sheriff. Should the high sheriff be? Okay, I'm on a live. Come here, you nutcase. Anyway, one of my caregivers walked in. My question again was, do you think that the high sheriff should be elected or appointed? Elected by the people or appointed by the state or the governor?
No, I wouldn't say the governor because we have a lot of idiot governors, but you're talking about America and we're talking about Canada right now. So you're comparing apples and pineapple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody in Canada works for the government almost. So I'd say over half the population of the country works for the government, directly or indirectly.
But that was a question. That was a question for, I guess.
We're all learning as we go along.
The whole audience.
There is no dumb question. All right, so I'm going to go through this with the neighbor, and you guys pop in as you see fit.
It's a good place for people to kind of hide and do whatever they want out there. I'm not saying that that's what's happening in this situation. These people may be fine people for all I know. But what I do know is that with their story, the way that they're telling it is that, if you don't get up with your kids, and their kids are adventurous, they're rambunctious, they crave.
He's exactly right. When our kids get up in the morning, they're ready to go. They're jet set.
They're extremely curious too at that age.
Feet hit the floor, they're ready to go. Miss North's musing said, Brooks, the mom has done that, and look at how she's attacked. So just like Summer and Sebastian's cases, there's zero evidence. People are just judging and speculating. It can also be harmful. That's 100% correct. Correct. However, there is nothing wrong as a parent especially in the area. Because let's face it, the speculation has come from their community. Okay? This is what people around there are saying. All right? You talk about Summer Wells. You're exactly right. Everyone was speculating that she probably got lost in the woods until people came out and said, oh, hell no, I know this family. Sebastian, that's a little different story. I still can't put that one together, but hey, above my pay grade. There is a lot of red flags. If you can see a red flag with this case, put it in here. You are welcome here to think and speak. Hobie.
Well, I got a couple red flags. These kids how long were these kids home from school before they said that they were missing? I think some people say they were home all week before they said that, and they were both, like one kid had the sniffles, but why? Okay. So one kid had the sniffles and they stayed home, girl, Lily. And so, but both of them stayed home.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the other kid stay home when one has the sniffles? The other one's not sick. Go to school, right?
Well, I can say this as a mama. I can say this as a mama. When one gets sick, the other one gets sick. And so if one child wakes up sick, I might as well go ahead and keep them all home because they pass their damn germs around.
Is this the insurance going up?
Yeah, we've talked about this before. I wish I had a couple of my friends here with me because they followed it a lot more than I have, but they may have been home a lot longer from school before they were called in missing, whatever, right? Like so they have been missing longer, almost a week before.
Well, according to the bus driver, he dropped them off on the 29th, on a Tuesday. On the 30th, it was a parent-teacher conference, school holiday, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Okay, but they kept the children out on Thursday and Friday for having a cough or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
To be outdoors, you should be in trouble for not getting up and taking care of your kids. It's a neglectful thing. If they, like you said, that this is a drug area. If that is the case, if they have been on drugs or something, they're not going to want to admit that, obviously. And because that would give them, I'm sure in Canada, it would be against the law for them to neglect their children while being.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I don't know. I mean,
I think we can all agree that there is some level of neglect going on. Can we not?
Yeah.
And do you have children, Hobie?
No, I don't. But I've raised a few. Like I was babysitter. I got nieces and nephews. Man, I'm not unfamiliar with kids. Put it that way.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm gonna put you're in the hot seat.
Yeah.
What would keep you once you could not find your kids from going to find them?
Oh, I wouldn't stop. Nobody could stop me from looking. Nobody. Even though the cops told me to stay home, perhaps where the pros are looking after it. No, I'm going. I'm looking. And I wouldn't stop until I found them.
Well, I agree with that too. Now, if the police say, I need you at home, because if they come back, they have to have someone familiar there.
Well, there needs somebody at home, whether the mother or the grandparents, somebody would be there, right? But I'm not staying home. I'm going looking. I'm going to go find them.
Okay, and you're in the hot seat. What do you think about this statement from Daniel Martell when he said he addressed the children's mother's departure, stating she did not leave voluntarily but was forced off the property? Why on earth did he allow that? That's the children's mother. And yeah, I'm picking on him right now. I'm picking on him.
Well, she left. She went to her mom's or something for a week or both, and she's still there, I guess. But she left.
There. It says right there. He said that following the children's disappearance, she relocated to stay with family in another part of the province and has since blocked him on social media. Yeah. It says right here, there was a confrontation in the yard when the children went missing. And he said, my mother had to ask some people to leave the property because they were accusing me of being involved. That is insane. Because tensions are heated and children are missing, you don't force someone out of their own home. I don't care who holds the deed.
Yeah.
That's when everyone needs to come together and pull together. Unless there was already issues between Daniel and Malaya.
Yeah, I think they did. Well, I mean, what couple doesn't really have issues sometimes? I mean, it happens. You know, I don't judge these guys for living in a trailer. There's a lot of poor people all across Canada, man. The Maritimes, especially. The Maritimes are very poor provinces.
Well, let's look at what Malaya had to say. Let's get to the bones here.
Just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up. I heard them playing in the next room beside us. And I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both.
Okay, good on her. They went outside. They're yelling for the children. And she said she had the instinct. This is a very important word. I had the instinct to call. Now, in another interview, which could have been translated wrong, and I don't mean language to language, I mean how the gossip game goes. It said in this interview, she immediately called 911. Well, her own words say, I had the instinct to call. Then we see this from Daniel saying the mother's departure, stating she did not leave voluntarily, but was forced off the property by his mother. He said that following the children's disappearance, she relocated to stay with family in another part of the province. Do you think, and the key word here is think, that the mother-in-law was pissed that Malaya got the authorities involved? Is there something going on around that property they wanted no one to know anything about?
Not sure. There's some people think that maybe that the kids ingested something and that wasn't good, like, you know, drugs or whatever. There's that, and but when they interviewed both of them, they both their stories sounded very well rehearsed, right? Because they both said they're very chatty and will talk to anybody. Who says that about their kids? They're very chatty and they'll talk to anybody. Like it sounded like they both had a very carefully crafted story that they come up with together, and because they both said that, I'm pretty sure he said that too. Yeah, they'll talk to anybody. Like it was very just like what do you call it? What's the word? Foreshadowing. I don't know. I'm not smart with words. I'm not a big word guy, but they both had their story straight, basically, right? I noticed that, anyways. If you listen to both of them, their first interviews, I'm pretty sure they both come out and say these kids will walk up to anybody and talk to them. Why would you say that?
Well, they also said they're undiagnosed autistic. What'd you do? Take a quiz on Facebook?
Yeah.
How the hell do you know? What are you talking about?
Well, a lot of parents they want their kids to be autistic or diagnosed as autistic or with something so they can get more money for welfare, right? And these guys are probably collecting assistance. So if you get a disability, then you get extra money, right?
Okay. I never thought about that, but no, that could be a thing. I mean, and it's common. It's common, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, mama's getting food stamps. Mama's got a back injury or a bum knee from working at the Family Dollar over in Collinsville, Oklahoma. And next thing you know, she's like, oh, hell, I got things wrong with my kids too. But you can't say it's undiagnosed. We'll get to that. She'll say it right here.
Yeah.
Really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text.
Okay, this part breaks my heart when she goes, just an alert to let everyone know that they're missing. This is such a confusion for people. And I'm glad it is, because that means they don't know. That means they don't know.
Yeah.
The only words I have for anyone is this: an alert is an alert. Whether it says missing, that's an alert. If it says endangered, that's an alert. You don't need an Amber Alert for high alert. You just don't.
Yeah. There was no alert sent out by the RCMP though. Even when they had the mass shooting at Porta Peak, which wasn't that long ago, near the same area, there was no Amber Alert issued out for people to stay in their homes because somebody's out there shooting people. The RCMP dropped the ball quite a bit, big time. Again, don't get me started in the RCMP, man. Like I hope I'm wrong this one time and they actually do their job and find the truth, right? But I highly doubt it because
it seems like they've had an extensive search effort. They've already ruled out abduction, and they're getting trail cams, and all you can do is, the only thing you have to lean on when something happens is the police. To be quite honest.
Yeah. Yeah, but when your police come out at press conference and have to do a land acknowledgement to the Micmac and the black people in Nova Scotia first before they even talk about the children that are missing, that's the kind of cops you're dealing with, man. They're politically correct idiots. Like, they're straight out of college. I don't have much faith or hope in them doing their job properly. As much as I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer here, but
no,
the RCMP like we do up here, they're idiots.
Okay. I see a lot of people in chat right now saying they don't do their job. They're idiots.
Yeah.
So we have different law enforcements here I live in Oklahoma. So if a child goes missing in Oklahoma, of course, 911 is dispatched straight to the locals.
Mm.
Okay. Then from there, it goes to OSBI, and they bring the FBI in. And sometimes Secret Service and Homeland Security, depends on the case. How does it work in Nova Scotia?
I'm not from Nova Scotia, well, I'm from New Brunswick, but I mean, like normally I would think that they bring in the search and rescue. They didn't send it an Amber Alert, which a lot of people thought odd, but some people said they said, well, you don't have to send an Amber Alert out because it's there's other levels, like you were saying earlier. There's other levels of alerts before you have to go to Amber Alert, because Amber Alert will be nationwide, right? Canada-wide.
But remember, an Amber Alert, obviously it's to alert the public, but it's more important for law enforcement.
Yeah.
So that criteria needs to change. But I bitch about that here all the time. And sometimes it's too confusing. It clogs up the airwaves. Because it could be, honestly, a babysitter that didn't bring a child back in time, a grandmother that wants more time with their child. It's normally in Oklahoma, it comes down to father and mother having a custodial problem.
The custody thing.
Saying that they weren't aware, someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet. But with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they
I don't like when parents try to diagnose their own children and say it's undiagnosed autism. It's not extreme, but they have issues in school. Sometimes kids have issues in school for a lot of issues, because if your birthday is August 20th and you start school August 21st, well, there are kids that have an entire year ahead of you. Maturity is very important when it comes to education. And sometimes it's issues at home. So we can't diagnose our own children, and we certainly do not want them to struggle. So when she says undiagnosed and all this, so why are you pushing for that? That's one of my questions that I have for her.
And kids with autism wouldn't be approaching people, strangers. It'd be the opposite. They wouldn't be as chatty to strangers and stuff. They'd be like more like, I'd buy mom or dad, right?
Well, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, what little bit I know about autism, it makes no sense. It's usually they stick to themselves and,
Yeah.
don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always...
It is hurtful that she said, I just want them to catch up with the other kids. Well, sometimes you got to set down what you want to do, and you have to sit with your kids and get on their level and work with them on their school projects. Hell, sometimes if your name is Brooks, who has red hair and 2 thumbs, meaning me, you do their damn projects for them.
We work together with it, like, I don't have any kids, man, and I don't have any regrets there, but I'm just saying I've helped raise quite a few. I'm 50 years old, man. I got, my buddies are all grandparents and great grandparents now, some of my friends. But yeah, I'm not unfamiliar with raising kids, and I've seen a lot of kids grow up to be great adults who now have their own kids. And it's like, it's fun to watch, right? And I know a lot of people haven't had a lot of money, like lived in trailers, who raised great kids who became successful, right?
Hang on. Third Draft said she didn't say that. She said, hang on. They have low autism, as in they have issues at school where they don't catch up with other kids. So you didn't hear her say, I wish they could catch up with the other kids? You guys catch different things than I do. Let's go back through it. I've been wrong before.
Autism, it's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because...
She's right. That's exactly what she said. She didn't say, I wish they could catch up. That's what happens when I don't pause at the right place.
They didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
How old were you when you discovered that if you put mandarin segments in caramel?
Oh, hell, we don't want to hear about mandarin segments. All right, so let's go back to the neighbor. Hold on. Third Draft said they don't catch up with the other kids. This is actually common. I struggled with this quite a bit with one of my sons. I won't say which one. And so we had to get extra help. And a lot of it just had to do with him just not wanting to. I'm not saying that for Jack and Lily. And there is no reason to ever shame a kid. Either way, whether they're autistic or not, they are missing. Okay? They are missing. Whether there was some big ass party or not, they are missing. Whether her and Daniel had problems before, Lily and Jack are missing. Okay, that's the main focus here.
What's your best theory, and then we'll move on.
When I think about a stranger abduction, I just think about the amount of traffic that would be in that area would be minimal.
Correct,
Right?
but
So I'm gonna.
But there was a party.
I'm gonna
right?
say that there was what?
There was a party, though.
I believe there was a party, and I'm going with either neglect or nefarious.
Yeah.
You know, I want to think that maybe they just wandered. I don't want to think that somebody would be driving down the road early in the morning on a Saturday and pick up two little kids.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a possibility too. Somebody driving down the road, some weirdo driving down the road.
Absolutely, and there's lots of them. You just never know.
Oh, they're everywhere. I mean,
You look at stats. Statistics are usually because it's the two kids that she had from a previous relationship.
Yeah, with Cody. Yeah, and he has a record, but I haven't found anything that he was anywhere around there or that he would want to take his kids.
I think he was in custody at the time for something else. But if you look at stats, so when things go down south, same things go south. It's usually if there's a SA or this kind of scenario, it's usually a stepfather, and then there's another guy living in that trailer. I think with the mother or something. There's other people living there besides the two of them on the premises, and plus the partying and strangers, hanging out, partying and whatever. It wasn't a good environment for kids, I don't think, to begin with, but it might not have been the parents. It could have been somebody else because there's too many people that had access to those kids, man. And if they're just getting high and stoned or whatever the hell they're doing, not paying attention, the kids can go out in the backyard. It's all fenced in. They probably just let the kids go out in the backyard and play. Go play. Parents are busy in here getting high. Fuck off. Right?
Ween Baby said there was a party. That's up in the air. We don't know. There has been reports there was a party. Those articles have been taken down. The article I had, and I quoted yesterday on the show, the link doesn't work anymore. We have this neighbor that spoke to Josh from the lab that said there was a party and that she had heard about it.
I heard that one. Yeah.
And we have heard, we've seen pictures that are floating around, and you can clearly see there's a party, but I don't see a timestamp showing when it was. I don't see it, which doesn't matter. Again, I don't care if they were partying their damn asses off. Okay. Yeah. What I want to know is when did they actually go missing? And when it comes right down to it, they are missing. We're talking about two little kids here. Now, honestly, victimology means, especially with children, their surroundings, what they have around them, could be part of the problem. And I said, could be. Could be. In quotes. But two children gone. My first thought was they got into the water. They went to play. Parents are in bed. Nobody's up to make them scrambled eggs, Pop-Tarts, whatever. And they decide to go do their own thing. Heavy rain, we've seen that. We've heard about the impassable/impossible getting through the woods. One neighbor on this Nova Scotia Facebook page said you can still hear the trees breaking and cracking and things like that from the hurricane in 2022. Now, I can't imagine. But either way, nothing smells right about it.
The registered ones and the unregistered ones, they're all over the place. I appreciate your call, Susie, and thank you. And call back in a day or so if you're still watching, and let us know what is the mood around there, really quick. I mean, I'm sure everybody's talking about
Solemn,
it.
very, very kind of solemn, very solemn.
Yeah, I bet. Are people, especially since it's been scaled back now?
Yeah, it's very sad. It's just a very sad mood.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, I appreciate your call, Susie, and thank you so much.
That's a lot of information. And there is a lot of information coming out. And I think we all have smart enough brains that we can, it's like going to the gym or going to church, you know? You can use what you need and leave the rest behind. This whole thing is horrible for these babies. And again, the link is pinned at the top. If you want to come up and talk, remember it's an open panel.
Lily and Jack are still missing, and this case is very close to my heart since my children are of similar age. I don't believe that they were abducted by a stranger or wandered off into the woods by themselves. I believe the answers lie close to home and that the truth will come out soon. Police are preparing to bring in cadaver dogs and had boats on the water searching. My heart broke a little more this morning for Jack and Lily as I saw their drawings and artwork on the wall inside the family home. At first, it was rumored that the children were nonverbal and wouldn't talk to anyone. However, the mother seemed to clear that up very quickly, claiming that they would talk to anyone. They were very friendly.
Exotic Prairie said, Jen Soto didn't get out of bed for Maddie. No, Jen Soto didn't. Jen Soto's a real piece of shit.
Is that an AI voice this guy's using?
Do what?
The guy that was just talking there on the clip that you just played. Is that an AI voice he's using? So he said cadaver instead of cadaver. That's how you catch AI voices, because they mess up words.
Oh, I know. And you hear this voice. I have this channel I listen to about how to grow asparagus. It's the same damn voice. Some people are really paranoid about their voices. I should be paranoid about mine because I get comments all the time about how annoying my voice is.
I like your
As
accent.
I saw their drawings and artwork on the wall inside the family home. At first, it was rumored that the children were nonverbal and wouldn't talk to anyone. However, the mother seemed to clear that up very quickly, claiming that they would talk to anyone. They were very friendly. We can definitely confirm that the children are verbal, as even the bus driver talked about them being chatty, always laughing and being happy on the bus rides. Jack loves bugs and dinosaurs, and Lily likes girly things, but will apparently follow Jack everywhere. They are like best friends, according to the stepfather, and not just brother and sister. Others said that Jack loves to dig for worms, and likes to turn over pieces of wood to find bugs. They sound like such adorable children, full of energy. This photo of their art was released, and at the bottom here, we can see Jack's paintings. His name in red and another green painting too. I think the green painting are some insects, since Jack has a love for them. Lily writes beautifully, and she wrote a few sentences about her mom. The topic sentence says, "This is my mom." Important detail number 1, my mom bakes cupcakes. Important detail number 2, we play with toys. Important detail number 3, we watch movies, and then finally at the end, as an ending sentence, she wrote, "I love my mom." There is also a beautiful painting of a dragon next to Lily's writing, but it's unclear who painted or drew that. Let's continue to keep precious Jack and Lily in our prayers, and may the police figure out who is responsible for their disappearance.
Yeah, that's hard to watch.
Couldn't agree more. It is a tearjerker for sure. Now, there's a lot of questions about the bus driver because confirmed, we only know of 3 people that can confirm seeing Jack and Lily from when they got off the bus on Tuesday to when 911 was called on Friday. The bus driver, and then Daniel and Malaya. Question is, if they had this huge party, you're telling me no one else saw the kids? Whether it's check day or not, you're telling me big if, remember capital I, capital F. If they have this big party, you're telling me no one else saw the children.
Yeah.
No kid is just going to stay in their room with all that commotion going on. They're going to think the party's for them. They're like, "It's my birthday?" No one told me.
Most kids get told to go outside. I grew up back in the Maritimes back then. When I was a teenager, I'd go to houses and we'd be smoking weed and drinking beers and cigarettes all inside, and there'd be kids that age running around asking mommy and daddy, "Can I get this? Can I go to this?" Yeah, okay, now get out, go play, get out, play. Like kids were seen and not heard, man. Like that's how a lot of
Exactly. Okay, let's just say seen but not heard. Somebody would have seen the children. You can't tell me they didn't get up to pee, get a snack or something. If they're having this wild ass party, somebody would have seen them, or at least would have known they're in the house. But the only confirmation we have, and I do not expect the RCMP to leak anything, the only confirmation we have is the bus driver, Daniel, and Mama. That's it. How come the mother-in-law that kicked out Malaya didn't see him? What about the brother that lives on the property? And yes, that is a confirmed interview from the beginning that he lives on the property. It's my dumb ass that didn't exactly understand how close together they live, because I'm sorry to say it never occurred to me that anybody was living in those damn shacks around there. It's bad enough looking at the trailer. I assume Mama was like up on a hill somewhere and brother I don't know.
No, I think the is Daniel's brother and mother live in that trailer, the camper trailer, and the family lived in the kids, and Daniel and the mother lived in the trailer, the long trailer, the house trailer, not the camper trailer. The camper trailer, I think it was the brother and the mother sharing a camper trailer. The mobile home, the one that's actually you can drive, that one that has a black shit on top of the roof, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's way too many people that had access to those kids, and especially if they were sleeping in after a long night's party, and then they just wanted to sleep because they're with a baby in the bed. And that's why I was thinking the two kids that they don't have together are gone, but the one they did have together, they still have. There's that.
I mean, and Malaya said that the sliding glass door is so quiet you can't hear it. Yeah. Okay, enough. Then why did you assume they were outside? Why did you keep them home for being sick and then they're outside? You see, something here is not making sense.
Well, if the kids have a habit of sneaking out the side door, when they're not up and about, and they say they have to be outside with them all the time, that's BS. You let the kids go out and play. Go out and play. I know that. Everybody does that with their kids, man. Get outside and play. It's just nothing. They're not going out in the road. They're in the backyard. The backyard's all fenced in. You can see a well-worn path there where the slide is. They use that playground. Mm-hmm. They're out in that backyard all the time, just by the well-worn path from the bottom of the slide to the house.
Exactly. Anyway. And that's a fact. You can see it. You can see it in the pictures. Yeah. I mean, we don't need more rumors. I mean, we can speculate all day about how they live. We can damn sure see it. We know their baby's been taken from them. Yeah. Because Daniel had a big ass fit about that. I mean, it's right here. He said, yes, it says, yes, this is a news article out of Canada. Yes, there are indications that Lily and Jack Sullivan's 16-month-old baby sister, Meadow, is currently in the custody of Child Protective Services in Nova Scotia. According to reports, Daniel Martel, the children's stepfather, attempted to visit Meadow at the CPS office in Sterlington. Denied access, as if his child is there. But hey, whatever. He stated, as of now, I can't be around Meadow, suggesting that CPS has placed restrictions on his contact with the child. While the exact reasons for CPS's involvement have not been publicly disclosed, such actions are typically taken to ensure the safety and well-being of a child, especially in situations where there are ongoing investigations or concerns.
Right.
So what we don't know from that article is it just him that is denied access or both of them?
Right. That's a good question.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the bus driver. And I really don't like to speak about that because someday Meadow's going to be a grown-ass woman, teenager, hell, probably 6 years old and can see this stuff online.
But the sliding door thing, can we go back to that for a second? If you know your kids, it wouldn't be the first time your kids snuck out the sliding. If you can't hear it, and they snuck out, they've probably done it before. So would you put a stick in the door, like, you know, the anti-theft, just put a long stick in there that's, you know, you have to get out?
Yeah, I
You
used
have to get that
I
stick
used to
out.
have one at the top of my sliding glass door, way up there. I could barely reach it. And so if it came off the tracks or they unlock it, they still can't open it. And it's also, you don't want people breaking in.
Right, yeah, but that's what you would do at nighttime before you go to bed. You put that stick down so nobody can slide the door open. But there's that. But if you have kids that, you know, like if the door is that quiet, you can't hear it, you would have some kind of measure. And I get there's parents that, I used to have neighbors across the street, man, they were as friggin' redneck as all get out, man. Their kids, one of them was actually really had problems. He'd be standing outside in the friggin' middle of the street, man, playing in the rain. I had to go over there and grab him by the hand more than once and take him back. Oh, I didn't even know he was out. He's out playing in the street, lady. You know, like there are parents out there like that, but just they're friggin'
Well, I
dumb.
mean, there is, but I mean, on the day that you decide you want to sleep in with a baby, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, what are the chances of them going to, outside in a remote community and disappearing? It's got to be one of two things. They said no abduction.
Yeah, I don't think the kids would have wandered off, man. They had a nice fenced-in yard. They wouldn't. I don't think they would have wandered off too far, because especially when there's two of them. The other one would have said, "No, we'll get in trouble. No, we don't want to do that. Get in trouble. Get in trouble." Like the two of them would have talked each other out of it, I think, right? Because they're kids.
Well, especially since they're best friends. We
Right, yeah.
were told not to cross this road because that's where the creek is. We were told not to go across there.
Yeah.
And there's two of them. Okay, there's two of them. And that's another thing I think about. If someone, let's just say it's child abuse,
Yeah.
that's usually heaped onto one, statistically speaking. I'm not advocating for it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's how it should go. We're all adults here and we're having an adult conversation. But two are gone. Okay. You want to abduct a child. How the hell do you get two?
And they both happen to be from a previous relationship, not with the baby that they have now, which is kind of, to me, another red flag. It may not be for some, but for me it is. Right?
Yeah. And it's not like there's, a bunch of houses around except for Daniel's mother and his brother. So come on.
The case of missing siblings, Jack and Lily Sullivan, has captured the attention of people around the globe. Many are invested in this case, praying and hoping that the children are found. From the beginning, the stepfather and mother have been under intense scrutiny due to a number of red flags in their statements. We know that the children last attended school on Tuesday, the 29th March. They went to school and returned home on the school bus, and today we hear from that bus driver. He seems heartbroken at the news of their disappearance. This is bus driver Brian Ward, and he has to answer questions from the other children on the bus every afternoon about whether Jack and Lily have been found. Upon getting these questions, he responds to the children, saying not yet, but police are doing everything they can to find Jack and Lily. This picture broke my heart, as he pointed out their seats on the bus. Lily and Jack's seat in the front, to the right, has sat empty, with their names still taped above it, since April 29th, when Mr. Ward last dropped them off.
That's another question of mine. Okay. So he's pointing in the bus, and I'm not blaming the bus driver. Okay. But he knows what children go on his bus. He's saying this is where Jack and Lily sit. So on Thursday and Friday, when Jack and Lily weren't on the bus, what is the protocol at the school for when children aren't there? Can you just keep your kids out of school? Most parents don't like to do it because they can get in trouble for their kids not going to school.
Well, I think the teachers.
Does anyone know the protocol at this school for when kids don't go to school?
Well, one would assume that they're contacted by the school, you know, everything okay, like a check, you know, or the parents would tell them, "Oh, I'm keeping my kids home." That's usually how it used to go when back in the day.
It's not like they've been gone for weeks. It's not like they had, we're not talking about it. Just somebody was arguing in chat yesterday saying, oh, they don't know who gets on the bus. I'm like, they better. That's crazy. So he's saying right here, this is where the kids sit.
We'll send it up to the bus
He ended
driver.
their dirt driveway after school. I'm devastated. I'm absolutely devastated, said Mr. Ward, whose children Nicholas Carr, who is 4 years old, and Troy Carr, who is 7 years old, are friends with Lily and Jack, and often sat with them on the bus ride home from school. He says he can't even sleep at night. Both kids attend Salt Springs Elementary, a small rural school about a
Now, I know a lot of people say the bus driver would not let anything happen, and I don't think he would either. That doesn't make any sense. You know, his last name is Ward. There is an RSO in the area with the last name Ward. A lot of people say they're brothers. Either way, we are not responsible for who we are related to. But when he brings up his children, they have a different last name. I'm assuming they're stepchildren.
Yeah.
Which everyone's got to step up.
ride home from school. He says he can't even sleep at night. Both kids attend Salt Springs Elementary, a small rural school about a 20-minute bus ride from their home that serves 86 children from communities across southern Pictou County. The school has been provided with psychologists, counselors, and other school board support staff to help staff members and students with questions and providing calm coping strategies during this difficult time. Mr. Ward is being proactive in his search for Lily and
What the hell is that mattress outside?
A lot of people ask about that. What's up with the mattress? You know, but there's a lot of garbage there, man. Like it's, yeah.
What the hell? Let me tell you what. What the F is up with the mattress? I mean, come on.
I'm getting flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks of the mattresses they pulled out of that synagogue that one time in New York. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm just.
And we know it's junky. We know they're not good housekeepers, but what the fuck with this? Sorry for cussing. You know, there's another case, actually two, that I can think of, where there was a nasty, nasty mattress involved. And well, guess what? Where the mattress was, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And it looks like somebody put a tarp over it. I'm just looking at the picture.
The tarp, I think, is to cover up the draft from going underneath the trailer.
Oh, okay. So their skirting came off. Okay.
Yeah, skirting or something, yeah.
Jack too. He headed out into the woods as soon as he heard the children were missing. He rode around on his ATV to search for them. He described the kids as full of life, always smiling and laughing. Lily would let out these high-pitched squeals, and she was a bit of a drama queen. He gave an
Okay, this is what the bus driver said. He described the kids as full of life, always smiling and laughing. Lily would let out these high-pitched squeals, he said. I'd get after her all the time. Lily, you can't be doing that. He also described her as a bit of a drama queen. Aren't we all? If she had a sore foot, she'd say her foot was broken, he said with a laugh. Jack sometimes fell asleep on the way home from school, but more often than not, he was chatty. He'd say, bus driver, hey, bus driver.
An example, if she had a sore foot, she'd say her foot was broken. Jack sometimes fell asleep on the way home from school, but more often than not he was chatty. He'd say, bus driver. Hey bus driver. If he was trying to talk to you and he couldn't get your attention, the little bugger would take his boot off, throw it at you. Jack is famous for throwing his boots at me. Sadly, after all these days, Lily and Jack are still missing, and while authorities have scaled back the search, I do think they are looking at things from a more investigative approach now, and suspecting foul play.
I think they might have suspected foul play from the very get-go, the way they...
I don't think it takes them too long to figure out. So let's look at Daniel real quick. And we saw this yesterday. And again, you guys be judge and jury.
The news today, the search continues this morning for two missing children in rural Nova Scotia. Crews have been combing through the woods around Pictou County since Friday when police believe they wandered away from their home. Brett Ruskin is live in Halifax. He's picking up the story for us this morning. Where do things stand today, Brett, with the search efforts?
Good morning, Heather. Yes, search efforts are continuing this morning for these two missing children here in Nova Scotia. So we have 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. They went missing on Friday morning. Now, we heard from the children's stepfather recently. Here's what he had to say about this situation.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
So again, this search began with family members and has now expanded to dozens of search and rescue volunteers. About 160 people were on the ground yesterday. There were dogs brought in to try to catch a scent of these 2 children. There were 8 drone units in the skies searching, as well as a couple of helicopters as well, each one of them equipped with infrared sensors and cameras looking for these children. Now, we heard from police talking about some of the challenging conditions and logistical issues that they are running into with this situation, with the kind of the situation on the ground. Here's what police had to say about this search.
With the wet weather, it makes things a little more complicated for our searchers. Given they're in the woods, it's wet, things are slippery, footing's not the greatest. It's the water's it's not the best, but they're still trudging through and they're still working hard at doing the job that they have to do.
Again, we know that 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan went missing on Friday morning. That is when this search began and when the family reported them missing. And again, the search has been ongoing since that time. Heather.
Now, you listen to the news reporter, and they have a way, they have like their own verbal judo when they speak. They're not going to put anything concrete. They're not going to say when they went missing. He said when they were reported missing. When they reported missing.
Brett, I'm sure people following the story closely, those who are close at hand in terms of proximity, what can people do if they're trying and hoping to help?
Yeah, folks might think that, hey, I live nearby, I could hop in the car and go and search through the woods. I can help out as well, but that's not necessarily what officials want. They say this is a very coordinated, very organized search. They know where each one of the crews are. They know the areas that have been searched already and the areas that they are now focusing on. So advising residents to not just drive out and try to help out with the search on their own in the woods. One thing that people can help with is searching their own properties, looking in ditches, culverts, sheds, or any other possible hiding area that these kids, that these children may have used for shelter. That is how people can help. And again, we know that the temperature has dropped a little bit overnight, but we haven't seen below 0 temperatures. So again, these search efforts are continuing now, beginning their 4th day of searching. Heather?
Okay, obviously it's not day 4 anymore.
No.
And there is an RSO right there in the area. His name is Gerald Ward. Sexual assault, obtaining. Gerald Paul Ward, 5. Sexual assault, obtaining sexual services for consideration, failure to comply with prohibition order, failure to comply with conditions of release, 2 counts. He is not supposed to be on the internet. He's supposed to not have any electronics. He does, and he lives right there.
Who's this? The guy that's the brother or whatever that's living in the trailer?
Nope, he's an RSO in the area, and a lot of people say he's the bus driver's father.
All right. What is an RSO?
Registered sex offender.
Oh shit! I should have known that. All right. So he's in the area.
Mm-hmm. I would assume that they have, talked to him multiple times. And so.
Oh man. But again, my confidence in the RCMP is not very high at all, man.
Well, it's hard. I mean, after 3 weeks, everybody wants everything done like an hour-long TV show with commercials,
I get that. We might not get any answers for quite some time, but we will eventually. Truth will come out eventually.
Well, I think what everybody wants is the kids found, happy, healthy, and alive. It doesn't look like it's going to happen that way. I do hope it does. Jen Bug said, in my opinion, I think it's closer to home.
Yeah, I agree. The more I think about it, the more I don't want to think about it, really. But
exactly. It's very upsetting to think about.
But there's another guy that breaks this down. Have you heard of the Deception Detective? He's got a YouTube channel. I was watching him do some breakdowns. He did some pretty decent breakdowns, too.
I don't really watch him that much because, I mean, he's been way, way, way off on some other ones.
Yeah, he's kind of getting a little off there, too. Like he was pretty good when I first started watching him when we were both analyzing the interview because I couldn't get I couldn't find any interviews with Daniel and the mom. I was just randomly going through YouTube, and he was breaking down the interviews, which is what I want to do. Well, before I even seen the interview, I caught the past tense part, and then he said it right after I said it. So yeah, the past tense part.
Yeah, we caught that yesterday. I mean, everybody in chat caught it because it's one thing we always catch. Cat OG said, "Don't leave the house," because I mean, the truth is, something could have happened at home.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you guys are absolutely amazing. Put a 1 in chat if you want to continue following and discussing the case of Jack and Lily. Put a 2 in chat if you say, hey, no, Brooks, you suck. You don't know what you're talking about, and you're not even from here. I got a few of those yesterday.
What?
And that's the reason I put this up yesterday. She doesn't even go here. She doesn't even go here. She can't talk about Canada. I do like the lady that I was talking to in a news article, comments going back and forth. And I was asking, did they check this, or that? And she goes, oh, yeah, we got on our caribous and got our pelts ready. And we went and looked. Cracked me up. And she's the one that told me about the RSO.
Well, that's maybe that's why the cops don't want people talking too much about stuff because they're worried about that guy. Something bad might happen to that RSO, right? That's probably what they're probably more worried about. Vigilantes. That happens up here.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them for that because I mean, when you bring out a name like that, you never know who's going to have some time on their hands, and they might say, "Well, I'll go check this motherfucker out myself."
We'll beat the truth out of them. Right?
They might. You never know. I mean, they have to watch what they put out here. I'm in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area because they're like, looking for this suspect. You never know what redneck's going to come out, of their trailer park and say, I can help you, police.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's saying to you, you can't weigh in on this because you're not Canadian. You're not from here. That'd be like saying that I can't, because I don't have kids, I can't weigh in on this, so I can't talk about kids.
No, when people are concerned, people can be concerned. Bingo Bliss said, have they brought dogs in yet? Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Yeah, I think they did it a while back.
Yep, they have. I'm sure they've had a lot. So let common sense prevail. Keep a good heart. Americans, enjoy your 3-day weekend. Canadians, know we love you. Know we do. And I'm always a text, a phone call, a message, an email away. Big thanks to Hobie for coming up. What a great conversation. Big CLL round of applause. All right, I'll be back Monday morning. We're doing a members live with a neighbor of Daniel and Malaya's. I say neighbor. It could be a county over. I don't know. Okay. Thank you. Oh, truth hurts sometimes. Look at that. Canada loves Brooks. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Can you send me a pelt and a caribou and a moose? I want a big old moose steak.
Oh, they're good.
Woo! All right, get ready for the members live on Monday. If you're not a member, you grab that membership. Oh, look at that, Pat. We do. I thought Pat was one of my best friends. And I was telling her about the comments about, how some people were saying things to me, and all she did was die laughing. She goes, I was laughing so hard. Baby kisses and health is excellent. All right, I will see you guys Memorial Day, Monday morning. Again, if you don't have a membership, grab one. If not, hell, you know how I am. I'll recap it later anyway. You guys are the absolute best. And hey, mods, thank you for keeping up with all of our new friends and being the super cool people you are. Y'all enjoy. You need anything, you know how to find me. Love you. Thank you again, Hobie.
See ya.